Hey there, Browns fans! There's been a lot of buzz surrounding the Browns, signings, and roster moves, so let's break down what's behind it all. Before we get started on this exclusive update on the offseason drama, do me a favor, hit the like button so you don't miss any breaking news about the Cleveland Browns. Now, let's dive in. Denzel Ward didn't hold back when it came to the biggest issue facing the Browns this offseason. In a recent interview with TMZ Sports, the Pro Bowl cornerback was asked what the team needs to get back on track after a brutal 3-14 season. His answer was blunt and clear: "I think we need a really great quarterback." That's where it all starts. Once you solidify that, the rest of the team will follow. Ward's words are even harsher considering the news surrounding Deshaun Watson. After re-injuring his Achilles tendon and requiring a second surgery, Watson is now expected to miss the entire 2025 season. That leaves a huge question mark at the most important position on the field, and it's not just the fans talking about it anymore. The locker room knows it, too. And it's not just Ward. Myles Garrett, another prominent voice in the Browns locker room, shared similar concerns on HBO's Hard Knocks. Garrett noted that the team is closer to competing than it seems, but he emphasized the need to return to the offensive identity that helped secure 2 playoff appearances in the past 4 years. But Ward made it even harder. "I think we have a really good team," he said. "But we have to solidify that quarterback position. If you have the quarterback position, it's going to take you a long way. It's not just talk." The Browns have a crucial offseason ahead. With the number 2 pick in the draft and Watson's future in doubt, decisions need to be made quickly. Will GM Andrew Berry look to the draft for a franchise QB, or could we see a big-name free agent brought in to stabilize the position? Names like Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields have been floating around, but nothing is certain yet. Browns Nation, this offseason could define the next 5 years for this franchise. Ward and Garrett are speaking for many of us. The team is talented, but they need leadership under center to turn things around. What do you think? Should the Browns go all in on a rookie or target a veteran in free agency? The Browns are at a pivotal point after a disappointing 3-14 season. With the number 2 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, Cleveland has a golden opportunity to fix the quarterback position once and for all. But here's the twist. Who will actually make that decision? Will it be GM Andrew Berry or head coach Kevin Stefanski? Analysts have been weighing in, and things got interesting on 92.3 The Fan during a debate between Jonathan Peterlin and Nick Wilson. The main question? Does Stefanski have the right insight into the quarterback position to influence such a big decision? Peterlin didn't hold back. He said, and I quote, "I would much rather Stefanski draft a QB than Andrew Berry." Bold opinion, right? But here's why. Peterlin believes Stefanski's hands-on coaching experience gives him a deeper understanding of what it takes to develop a franchise quarterback. Wilson added some context, reminding fans that Stefanski wasn't involved in the Baker Mayfield draft back then. And while he may have contributed during the Deshaun Watson trade, the results haven't exactly solidified that confidence. So the big question remains, can Stefanski identify and mold the right guy under center? Now, with the number 2 pick, the Browns face a pretty straightforward scenario: select a quarterback or go in a completely different direction. But who? Peterlin seems confident that the decision will come down to 2 top QB candidates, with no wild-card candidates sneaking into the mix. The pressure is on, and as Peterlin pointed out, Stefanski can't afford to lose this decision. Whether they get their top pick or have to settle for the next guy available, this pick could determine whether the Browns finally turn the corner or get stuck in the cycle of mediocrity. Okay, Browns fans, it's your turn. Sound off in the comments with your thoughts. Should Stefanski take the lead in picking our next QB, or do you trust Berry to make the decision? Cleveland is facing some tough decisions as it maps out the future of this roster, and 2 of the biggest stars in franchise history are right at the center of it. Let's start with Nick Chubb, the heart and soul of the Browns' backfield. After back-to-back season-ending injuries, Chubb's future in Cleveland is in serious question. During a recent episode of the Bullpen podcast, Cleveland.com insider Mary Kay Cabot shed some light on the situation. She highlighted how GM Andrew Berry's press conference hinted at uncertainty, stopping short of guaranteeing Chubb would return for the 2025 season. Berry acknowledged Chubb's legendary status in Cleveland but left the door open for big changes. Cabot suggested that Chubb could face a tough decision whether to pursue a free agency deal with another team or potentially return to the Browns on a very team-friendly deal, possibly structured around a minimum contract with performance-based incentives. And let's be real, it's not just about the numbers. Chubb has been an all-pro powerhouse, a class act on and off the field, and a leader in the locker room. But football is a business, and these devastating injuries have left the front office weighing risk versus reward. Would you bring him back despite the injury concerns? Leave your thoughts below. Now, switching gears, Myles Garrett. The defensive juggernaut is coming off another dominant season, earning a first-team All-Pro nod and solidifying his status as one of the NFL's top defensive ends. But Garrett generated some controversy after the season with comments about not wanting to be part of a rebuild. A former NFL agent weighed in on Garrett's future, and let's just say the Browns may have to break the bank to keep him around. Garrett is on track for a potentially history-making contract extension. Joey Bosa currently ranks first in defensive player salaries at $34 million annually. But projections suggest Garrett could surpass even that, potentially commanding $40 million per season, territory usually reserved for franchise quarterbacks. At 29, Garrett is still at the peak of his powers. His current contract runs through 2026, but the Browns front office could lock him up long-term before then. So here's the big question for you, Browns Nation, what should the team do? Should Cleveland take a chance and bring Chubb back despite his injuries? And how far should they go to keep Myles Garrett in town with a record-breaking contract? Let me know what you think in the comments below. The Browns are on a mission to bounce back from a frustrating season, and it seems like head coach Kevin Stefanski has been handed the keys to reshape the offense in his vision. With the hires of offensive coordinator Tommy Rees and offensive line coach Mike Bloomgren, Cleveland is signaling a return to the offensive style that brought success when Stefanski first arrived. But here's where it gets interesting. Could some former Browns players be making a return to Cleveland? There's growing speculation that the front office, led by Andrew Berry and Stefanski, might look to bring back some familiar faces who fit this offensive system and already know Stefanski's expectations. Among the free agents potentially on Cleveland's radar are quarterbacks Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, and Josh Dobbs, all of whom have spent time with the Browns recently. If the Browns plan to draft a rookie quarterback with the number 2 overall pick in the upcoming draft, someone like Brissett could be the perfect mentor for a young signal caller. But that's not all. Tight end Harrison Bryant is another name generating buzz. Stefanski has previously shown a lot of trust in Bryant, especially in goal line situations where he was a reliable red zone threat. Bringing Bryant back could be a smart move for continuity and depth at the position. Other familiar names still available in free agency include running backs Kareem Hunt and D'Ernest Johnson, as well as wide receiver Amari Cooper and tight end Austin Hooper. While Cooper and Hunt would be long shots to return, some of the other names make a lot of sense for depth and leadership. The message seems clear. The Browns want players who can adapt quickly and contribute without a steep learning curve. With so much pressure on this offseason, every roster move matters. Now, Browns fans, we want to hear from you. Do you think bringing back Jacoby Brissett or Harrison Bryant would be a smart move? Should the Browns focus on familiar faces or pursue fresh talent in free agency? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you stay locked in with every Browns update. Go Browns!